All right, guys, let's get into this massive escalation that's taking place in Russia that we're certainly involved in. I mean, the idea that we're not involved somehow, you're involved. Me and you are involved because our taxpayer dollars are funding everything that's taking place, including 6 long-range missiles that are American-made being lobbed into Russia. Now, I don't know what Biden is thinking. I know what he's doing, but I don't know what he's thinking. I partially think that the reason he's doing what he's doing is he's trying to push all the buttons on war that he can. And I know that's a radical idea, but let me just lay out my case. For sure, his cabinet members, his administration, and a lot of people on that side of the aisle support full-scale war in Ukraine, for sure. So there's warmongering going on. And when you know an incoming administration is going to stagnate or impede or complete outright block your ability to wage war that feeds the military-industrial complex, that feeds your bank account, you might get a little reckless. You might get a little crazy. Sleepy Joe might just get a little reckless and push that button to do everything he can to escalate, because that's everybody around him feeding him the propaganda to manipulate Pinocchio to do the wrong thing. And I think that's what's taking place. I want to lay some things out. One, over the last 72 hours, a pipeline that's insulating the internet to Finland got cut. And Russian vessels are in that area, and it's likely sabotage that are impacting nuclear power sites, the internet, to NATO partners. Now, why would they do that? Well, it's subversion and sabotage as part of a bigger plan. The strategic plan for Putin is to land grab as much as possible before the negotiation takes place. You see, Trump has already talked to both Putin and Zelensky and said, look, we're going to talk about it. That's what you do in foreign policy. We're going to talk about it. We're going to break bread, sip chai, whatever it is, and figure this out. Last night, when Zelensky was asked if he thought Trump was capable of stopping this war and coming up with a ceasefire or diplomatic solution, he said yes. He didn't even hesitate. And the reason he said yes is because Trump is strong and America is strong, which, in contrast, is telling me that he thinks Biden is weak and the country is weak under Biden. And so when he came out of the woodwork and he said, she still got it. When he came out of the woodwork and he said that he was going to get this done as a peace negotiation, the clock started. The timer started. And so that timer is a lead up to January 20th, his inauguration, and the 21st of getting the job done, having the conversation. And they want to get it done. But what is Putin doing? He is surging 10,000 troops from North Korea that haven't seen the battlefield since 1953, and he's gaining as much ground as he can. And so what did we say as an administration, as a president? Because he had to approve it. You now have permission to lob the 200-mile capable missile into Russia on behalf of America and Ukraine with no consequence. Go ahead and lob it. And Zelensky did just that. He lobbed it. I think 5 of them were shot down as far as what I've seen from reporting, and 1 hit its target. Immediately, Putin goes to the table and talks to his cabinet and says, how can I advance the nuclear capability via my response? Because right now I'm stagnated by only responding to a nuclear attack from somebody, from a foe, and to protect the motherland. And so those are the 2 things that he had lined out, and now he just got the approval. And right now, because I just saw the on X the tweet, right now they're moving an ICBM that they think is going to be lobbed into Kiev. Russia has an intercontinental ballistic missile. Don't know if it has a tactical nuke warhead attached to it, but they're lobbing an ICBM likely in response to this attack that is likely going to hit Kiev. How do I know that? Well, the U.S. Embassy just evacuated based on the potential intel picture that depicts a doom and gloom scenario. You drop an ICBM in Kiev that has a tactical nuke on it, there is no more Kiev. And so in response, they do that. And then what do? Look, I'm not worried about Americans being involved in World War III, meaning like we don't have anything to worry about here, but we have a lot to worry about for the rest of Europe. Who's flipping that bill, by the way? I mean, we can go down that rabbit hole. They're not flipping anything. So as a consequence of our own actions, we're putting the entire region further at risk. Because what do you think the first targets they're going to hit? They're going to hit Ukraine and then likely Poland, because Poland has the most infrastructure, including U.S. troops, the biggest infrastructure for supporting the war that's happening in Ukraine. So he's going to surge 10,000 North Koreans, might even potentially bring in 100,000, and land grab as much as possible so that in the next 60 days, if we make it that far, when they come to the table, the negotiation is based off of what they've already achieved. And he's going to get it done. Look, Biden's foreign policy is don't talk to anybody. Shut the doors. And then push the war button so he can get everybody paid. That's what everybody wants that he's surrounded with, because he knows that as soon as the cabinet is activated under the incoming administration, everything changes. Mike Walls, who is a former lieutenant colonel that served in the same unit I did in Texas, who's a Green Beret, a former Green Beret, is the national security advisor to the President of the United States. They didn't even advise him of what they were doing. You would think during a right seat ride, this handover, that would be what you do. Give the courtesy via the second and third order effects that are going to affect your administration. We should likely at least acknowledge what's happening and give you the reasons why so you could articulate it to the administration that's incoming. They didn't do that. Mike Wallace saw it on news like everybody else. And so there's a massive escalation that's taking place, and we're doubling down. Not only did we approve American-made, supported and funded on top of the $56 billion that we've already supported Ukraine with, we also gave them permission to use anti-personnel mines. Now, anti-personnel mines, speaking from very personal experience, is different than an anti-tank mine, an AT mine. An AT or anti-tank mine is designed to go after vehicles. And so it has a very specific way that it explodes to destroy a vehicle, hence anti-tank. Anti-personnel is vicious, and it is designed, including a lot of controversy from humanitarian agencies and organizations that say it's inhumane. I think war is inhumane. But now we have anti-personnel mines that are going to be deployed to counter the North Korean and Russian threat. So what does that mean? Again, more antagonizing and poking the literal bear to see what happens. And so do I think World War III is going to happen? No. But do I think that potential targets in Poland, potential targets in Ukraine, to including ICBM, nuclear war capable rounds impacting the earth? Potential. And it's all scary stuff, guys. I hope to explore this more with you guys in the underground. I'm going to be doing the Patreon version of this, because there's certain things that I'm like saying it out loud and I can't even say it out loud. So I'm going to divert you to the underground. What I have planned to do, because you guys have asked me, a lot of people have asked me, is putting this into podcast form or the Audible form so I could do a morning show on everywhere podcasts are found. Spotify and the RSS feed will kick it to everywhere that you listen to podcasts if you're interested. Leave me feedback in the comment section if you want an Audible version of this, because guys, I thoroughly enjoy it, man. You know, like I don't like being in a studio. I like being outdoors. I might have to move to Idaho based on all the traffic that's driving by my house and all the evolving, turning this place into a new Park City. I don't like that. But I will continue to evolve this show and give you guys as much as possible. I want to say This is not a sponsor show, but if you're interested, this is the wellness company kits that have contagion emergency kits, medical emergency kits, and even kits for kids. Why is that important? Well, look, I work with these guys because I believed in their mission and their product to begin with, because it's the first time that a company outside of a video conference can now use a questionnaire to get prescription medication that's going to facilitate your readiness and preparedness in the future. Everything from Z-Pak, amoxicillin, the chewable version for kids. And you guys could use my coupon code down below using Glover or the link down below to save up to $30 on your next purchase. I do it. I stockpile this stuff because I don't want to have to go to the local PetSmart and get horse antibiotics and put it in my fridge for my family. Those times have changed. This company, the Wellness Company, has evolved, and I'm super proud to work with them in partnership. So expect that kind of stuff from me in the near future. If you haven't downloaded the Fieldcraft Survival app, make sure you do that. I'll link that as well down below. Has everything to talk about from canning and jarring, personal defense, and situation awareness that I talk you through on an app that you could download to your phone wherever apps are found. Again, I'll link it down below. Guys, I want to say I appreciate you. I'm off to the underground. Till next time. Peace.